Greetings, at the Tetractys Institute, Metaphysics and Evolution. Just want to take a break here and talk a little bit about summer solstice that's coming up. Here in the Vista, California area, there is a medicine wheel that we have at Alta Vista Botanical Gardens. And I'll leave some information with you on this one here. The medicine wheel that's been built there is by the graces of Brian Morris and some of the efforts on Leah Strell. These are two people that work with there at the gardens. And it's interesting that we have summer solstice coming up. We first initiated the wheel at winter solstice, which was great because we started that was started in the north, and then we came into the east for spring equinox. And we have summer solstice coming up now, and June 21st. So we are going to have a gathering there. The interest that it's in this is kind of unique because there's a lot of things that go on in the southern gate. When we talk about the north, it's actually the crown at that has a foundation set in the south, and the east is like a crown that has a foundation in the west, and these two crisscross. This represents in many ways the axis, the up and down axis, or the way that the solar system spins, our Milky Way spins. There is an axis in its central area with that black hole that has been uniquely found. But let's put it this way: that wasn't anything new, actually, to some of us, or surprising. And the east-west has a lot to do with the passage of our solar system through that has a tendency to rise up above it, and then passes back down through a galactic plate, which is the belt line of the solar system. So it's like two plates that are put together in this dense area of stars that run across the center of it. We are rising ever so gently, slightly, at an untold speed. But our process of that is our evolution of movement through a cosmos and a astral realm. In other words, by this I mean cosmos. When I speak of the cosmos, I'm speaking of the etheric essence of it, the part of it that we don't really see, which is actually the fiber in the body that's holding together the astral, or the stellar mass that exists within it, or exudes from it, actually. It's almost as if all these places erupt. So any of the work with Nassim Haramein or anything like that, you begin to understand the flowering process of these black holes that become the cells of our body, the cells of plants, the cells of the table that's in front of you, your computer. Anything that is made of matter is a constant explosion, in a sense, of energy that is patterned into how we see it. Plastics, metals, rocks, stones, rivers, hair, glasses. Anything of this nature, anything that we consider solid or to have matter to it. That is the astral side of things, the material side. So when we get into the southern point of this, one of the things that we talk about the most, the northern gate or northern port of a medicine wheel, which is actually nothing more than a calendar. But because of the calendar, it has aspects, and it follows an astronomy/astrology, like a lot of other traditions that are globally understood or recognized. So when we talk about traditions, particularly here at Tetractys, we have a tendency to include all of them. See, we don't isolate between these things. Why? Because they occurred in similar time periods, and those time periods have to be looked at as collectives, and that has something to do with the cycle that we're in. And we've been talking about cycles and such, and a revolution that is coming because of those cycles. But here we get back to the summer equinox, solstice, excuse me, here. And the way that these crossings occur within the medicine wheel, we've kind of discussed. The northern is very open. This is the creative point. The eastern gate is not just birth, it's already as if though you've been generated and you are already standing, you already have a presence, and you are ready to take the first step of something. So it is not the birth of us as an individual as much as it is the birth of our activities, our actions, our vocalizations even. Have to be understood that they come from the east. So that is a point of prayer. It is spoken. When we get into the south, there is a process between prayer and meditation, and it is recognized by most native traditions as a state of healing. Now, this is a process that involves a lot of things. One of the things that we're going to be working with and these people with people who would attend the ceremony is what's called a red tie ceremony, and this is done in a lot of ways because it is a form of release. It is a form of emptying. It is a state of allowing yourself a level of acceptance of the things that are occurring. And this is very important now because a lot of people are running into states of confusion. We are angry. We are beginning to understand a reality that is further behind the reality that we think we are seeing and living in, that has been engineered and developed for us as an illusion. See, that is the illusion we exist in, not the reality. So the reality that the rest of us are feeling is the awakening to these things. And that has to evolve, it has to come about. This is part of what we are engaging in, enduring right at this moment. So this is where it's very important to kind of understand the aspects and attitudes, tenets, even some at certain level, certain precepts that exist in the southern gate of things that we are to follow in this process of creation from the north and our very being from the east, and then acceptance and healing and social working. Okay, the permaculture that develops in that has the entire ideal of community and everything involving in it. And this is what the revolution is about: community, because people are beginning to recognize how they need each other and how we are connected at a point that if we do not find resolution between our indifferences, if we don't find answers to our questions, those are the things we should be focusing on. Those are the things that we should be working on, rather than the illusion as it appears about us: the politics, the economy, the religions, the precepts that are engineered for you are not the ones that will serve you. Now, this doesn't mean there's something wrong with God or Great Spirit, which is what I prefer to refer to him as. God has a tendency to put a bad taste in people's mouths, but that's not God's fault. See, people did that. Men did that. History evolved that and put the masses underneath it. We actually lost status in a lot of religious ideals rather than gained perceptions for our awareness and rising above who and what we are. So in the South Gate, this process of healing is important and critical to kind of understand at this moment, because it is the ultimate level of not just acceptance, but an understanding, which brings knowledge and creates wisdom. Wisdom is something that is created by our understanding and our knowledge. And wisdom is only acceptable when it serves. If it is inbred, or if it is taking, wanton, or any level of that, then it is not. It is not the level of energy that we are wanting. And those are the levels of energy that need to be purged from our being and our understanding in order to gain focus, clarity, create our level of tenacity. Our strengths are developed by walking through our weaknesses. And that's what occurs here in the South. We walk through those weaknesses, rediscovering our strengths, because we let them go. We let those weaknesses go. Or we embrace them to the point of where they can no longer take us to a point of misery or ruin, or listening to what other people have to say to you that is nothing more than words of destruction. In other words, they are out to bring you down. They're out to rob you of something. It is like a vampire eating at your heart and mind. We want to resolve those issues. We want to remove them. And we have a tendency to bring them to the point of where, first off, we accept them, we recognize them for who and what they are, their activities, and then we basically shield ourselves. This is a protection. This is an advancement of your strength at some levels. And so right now, the important thing to understand is that we are at a point of these things when we come together in circles, when we come together as people gather and openly discuss, embrace not just the indifference, but look past the indifferences that we have between us, if they exist, and find a way to share even through them. See, because a lot of those things are not what define us. They are opinions, they are precepts that we think we need in order to be where we are. They are important. They are defensive, though. See, that's the thing. They are all these walls and barriers that we put up. And instead of those, occasionally you need to open the door, open up the gate, take the bar away from the gate, and open it. And you don't have to let go of all your walls. You just have to have an opening. You just have to have a point of connection where the two circles come together and meet at the gate. And that is what we do in the South. Hope to see you soon. Take care. Thanks.